Welcome to New Life Live with host and founder of New Life Ministries, Stephen Arterburn. New Life Live is dedicated to transforming lives one at a time, thanks to the giving hearts of you, our listeners. Our goal is to provide you with wisdom from God's Word to give you hope and help in life's hardest places. If you have a question you'd like to ask today, our phone lines are open. Call 1-800-229-3000. That number again is 1-800-229-3000. Now here's Steve.
Welcome to New Life Live. Really glad you're with us here today. When I say us, I'm talking about Dr. Jill Hubbard in the studio. Hi, Jill.
Hi, Steve. How are you today? And Mylan is joining us. He's
coming.
Ditched out for a minute.
Yeah. And here he is, Mylan Yurkovich, Dr. Jill Hubbard, Steve Arterburn here, and really grateful that you have joined us. And, of course, you can always see the program on Facebook Live. You can hear it. And I'm just wondering, do you guys learn better visually or audio-wise, listening or seeing? Which is your learning preference or format?
A little bit of both,
Yeah,
because
I was gonna say.
if I see something, I usually remember it, and but I also remember stuff I hear. I'm very sensing, so my senses give me a lot of information. So that is one of the reasons why I think both. Yeah. But I think if I hear it, is maybe a little stronger.
Yeah, like I love listening to radio.
Mm-hmm.
I love it; draws my attention in. So, or listening to tapes in the car, right? And I'll listen to that, and I really glean a lot that way. Even though I'm kind of a visually creative person.
Right. What about you, Steve? And why do you ask that question? That's an interesting question.
Yes. Thanks for that curiosity.
Well, I could say because you could watch our program or hear our program.
Watch
it on YouTube. You could hear it on a podcast or on radio. I have a hard time learning no matter what. And the way I learn is to be taking notes, whether I'm hearing it or watching it. I have been a note taker, and that's the thing that keeps, and I doodle to illustrate the notes, and it keeps my brain engaged.
Exactly.
Which is exactly what I want to do. Right now with one of our callers, we're just going to go right to the phones today.
Which, can I just say, that's a really good ADD technique, Steve?
Yeah.
Is the note-taking? Yeah.
Not the doodling. Not the doodling.
Well, yeah, the doodling is too.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh,
it really is. It keeps that thing going. All right, let's go to Kenneth, Brooklyn, New York, Sirius XM, satellite radio, channel 131, and that's on at 1 o'clock Eastern. Kenneth, how are you today?
I'm doing well. Thank you, Steve and team, for really taking the call. Briefly, I'm a minister, and I'm working with your book, Steve, Healing is a Choice. We started with 3. Now we got 18 people at the church. But that's not why I'm calling today. Okay. We had a parishioner that was located in the Brooklyn area at the church and moved south for about 3 years now. I got a call from her today, and the question was to me, first of all, she's on the borderline of dementia. Her mother has it, and I don't know what other family members. But the question is, she asked me, she said, I just want to know, what should I do? I have a sum of money, and I had it in my son's name. The son came down and withdrew a large sum of money out of her account, so she put it back in her name. She is married, but there's not too much trust there with the spouse. So I told her I have to get back with her, because that was a rough one for me. So I said, let me call the experts to see if y'all can help me out of how I can advise her, because I'm not too sure, Steve.
Okay. Hold on. We'll give you an answer right after this. You're listening to New Life Live, and we're glad that you are. And maybe you've got someone in your family that maybe they're not doing too well mentally, and you worry about the financial situation. We can help you with that. I want to mention to you that we're doing a workshop tomorrow. I think registration's closed now. You could always try. But it's emotional freedom. We love talking about emotional freedom. We want people to be free of bitterness, resentment, free of terror, fright, fear, all those things. And we can help you with that.
After I found the pornography on the internet, I said, you either get help or I had to leave this household.
Every day, thousands of women discover their husband is struggling with sexual integrity. And since shelter-in-place orders have gone into effect, traffic to porn sites has skyrocketed. New Life's Every Man's Battle workshop can help.
Every Man's Battle, I fought it the whole week with my wife. Within 2 hours, you could have opened a book. It showed me where my life has been ever since I was a little boy.
The Every Man's Battle workshop can be a trip to the sexual addiction emergency room. During this time of social distancing, the Every Man's Battle workshop will be held online Saturday, March 6th. Find sexual integrity, accountability, and connection. Register now to reserve a place at the Every Man's Battle online workshop. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
He said, this may have saved my life.
Every Man's Battle was a life-changing experience for me and a marriage-saving experience for me.
Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. 1-800-NEWLIFE. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back, and we are talking with Kenneth, and a woman who is on the verge of dementia has asked, Pastor, what do I do with this money? Now, Kenneth, I'd love to be able to tell you to just go ahead and tell her to give it to New Life, but I'm not going to do that. But here's what I think. I think when a person recognizes that they're not safe with money, and that doesn't have to be dementia. That could just be, I'm impulsive. I think that there are folks, and it could be a dedicated Christian bookkeeper even, that just takes over the management of the money. And you have to let that person help you. And if I was talking with her, I'd say, let's see if we could find somebody to help you so that you don't make a mistake, somebody that's got your best interest in mind. That's what I would say. But let's hear from Jill and Mine on what they might be thinking there.
Yeah, along those same lines, Kenneth, since she's aware that she has dementia, it sounds like, and also that she doesn't trust her husband nor her son. So if she knows she has dementia, no matter her age, it's time to make sure she has a will, and someone needs to be in charge of that. There needs to be a trustee, an executor of her estate. And that can be, if she has, are there any other family members that would be trusted? Or you hire someone. It's a paid position. It's a legally binding position. And that person receives a salary to manage her affairs. Yeah. But you get someone that's objective from the outside to come in. And I agree. So, Steve, I'm agreeing with you. She needs someone to help that she can trust, that she doesn't have to worry, because as you move down the path of dementia, you start to trust less and less people. Mm-hmm. So she needs to see some things in writing, that what this person's responsibilities are, what they get paid, what, kind of a summary, what are they doing with her money, so that she can feel secure.
Mylon, you have a thought here? No, go ahead.
Yeah, Kenneth, I really appreciate your call. I love that you are involved with your people, that you want to shepherd them and really help them with these difficult life choices. And you're absolutely right. This is a part of it. The whole living part, the whole difficulty of declining, and that's a part of the shepherding role that is not the most pleasant, but it's important, and I really respect that you're trying to do a good job. I agree with Jill that a lawyer is going to be your best bet, and a lawyer who can help build a living trust with a will, healthcare power, durable healthcare power of attorney to help her make decisions. And even if she has big distrust for her husband or her son, she might need to get a legal separation from the husband in order to preserve her money. I don't know what state she lives in, but you're going to need legal representation to help with that. I know you're in New York. You said she moved south, and I don't know where she is. south of Brooklyn is water, I think.
In the Carolinas.
Okay,
In the
Carolinas. Yeah. So I don't know what the laws are down there, but they really need to get somebody for help out there. And I'm really sad that her son would rip her off. I mean, that's just a bummer.
Yeah.
It is.
Well,
Yes.
I love it. Two things. One, she sought you out.
Yeah.
But secondly,
Yes, thank
there are a
God.
lot of people that people go to, and they would never say, hey, let me get back to you. I want to talk to some other people about this. And that just shows a great humble spirit
Yeah.
you have. I want to send you one of our Every Man's Bibles. I hope that will be something you'll enjoy. God bless you, and thank you for calling us. And I would take Jill and Mylan's advice. I'd really try to lead her toward some legal help there. 1-800-229-3000. How about we go to Karen from Damascus, Maryland. Hi, Karen. How are you today? What's going on?
Good. How are you? Thanks
Good.
for taking my call.
Are you the Karen that called us a while back?
It's been a few years.
Oh, okay. Well, all right. We had a call the other day, and
Sounds
all right.
similar.
Sounded similar.
Okay.
And yeah. So how can we help you?
I did call yeah. So I am remarried, and I'm 53. My husband's 64. My husband, I moved into my husband's house, and his adult son, who's 32 years old, lives here. Adult son has lots of problems, and there was a promise made to me prior to us getting married that his son would move out, but that never happened. And after a year and a half, I can't take it anymore because his son smokes. He lives in the basement. He's got issues. He doesn't clean the basement where, I'll just put it this way, he's 32 years old. He takes half of a hamburger, throws the rest on the floor, and leaves it there.
So
That's
what's
how
the
bad it
question for us? I hate to hear about these situations where you think one thing's going to happen and then it doesn't.
Yeah.
So what's the question?
The question is, I'm moving out, and I'm not sure, I want my husband to live with me, but I can't make him. And I think he's going to, but if he doesn't, I don't want to get into that depression mode where I feel like, look, no man does anything for me, I'm not worthy. Because that's the road that I can go down real quick.
Okay.
And I've had an issue with always getting men that I never do sacrifice it for me. It just never happens.
Okay.
So what you're saying is this is loaded for you with a lot more than just this stepson. This is all of the disappointment from men in your life that have let you down.
That's correct. Yep.
Yeah.
That's rough.
And yes. And does your husband know that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So this moving out is you're taking a stand against all of those men.
I'm not. It's not that I'm taking a stand. I'm always going to put my health first. No one's going to take that away from me.
Wait, say
I'm a health education.
You're
I'm
always
going to take my health.
okay.
health,
So
my
you
health.
feel like this is a health issue with
The guy smokes, and never lived around anybody that smokes. And every night, smoke is pulling into my lungs. If he smokes at night, and he comes around. Second of all, I'm scared of him. He's a big guy, and he has said many times that he hates me and wish I was dead.
Okay, let me ask you a question real quick. When you share with your husband something simple like, I don't want secondhand smoke coming into my lungs, what's his response to that? Because that's a valid concern that anybody would have, related or not. What's his response to that?
He's like, you're right, but you know what he does? He actually gives his son money to buy cigarettes.
Okay,
The
so
codependency between the both of his. Yeah. So anyway, think about severe codependency. It's him.
okay, so he is caring very little for how you feel or what you want. Is what you're saying?
That's how I feel. He doesn't see
Yeah.
it that way at all.
Okay, and is he willing to ever go and talk to a counselor with you?
we have done counseling, and the last session we did with counseling, he said to the counselor, I will always put my son first before her.
Well, isn't that something that you wish you had heard before you married him, right?
Right.
All right. Well, let's start.
But he's not really even putting his son first.
That's true.
Right? He's fearful of saying no to his son. He's fearful perhaps of losing his son. So he's doing the passive, easy thing of, I'm not going to upset my son. So it sounds very noble to say, I'm putting my son before you. I mean, the son was there before you, but when you enter into a marriage, it realigns the dynamics. And it's not that one of you is more important than the other. You both have a high priority. But he's not helping his son. He's not acting in his son's best interest. So I think
recovery
that's an important point.
recovery from codependency really starts when somebody says, I've been doing this for me, not the other person. Then you've got some hope there. Mylon, your thoughts?
Well, Karen, I'm very sorry that you're in this position, and that you find that you're in this position again, and it's a pattern that's really sad. Let me speak to that for a second. What we really need to do in our adult relationships is we need to do the same work we would do as if we were buying a house or a car. We need to really do thorough investigation to decide and find out, is this promise that my husband is making going to be true? And is he going to, how many promises, how do I know if this man making this promise to me really means it? Or is he just saying it because he wants me for some reason and he's really not going to come through on his promises? What I'm saying is that if we thoroughly vet people with premarital counseling and we go through a very long process, 6 months, 9 months, a year before we get married, we begin to find out more about these people. And I feel very sorry for you that you find yourself in this position, but your husband has failed you. The problem's not the kid, and he's a kid. He's a 32-year-old man going on 14. So he's a kid inside, and his husband, your husband, is letting him stay at 14 years old. It's a real disservice to the son. Yeah. But you have to think your husband has betrayed you. He has let you down. He told you something, and he's not protecting you. And so I think it is appropriate to say, I'm leaving, and if you want me, you're going to have to earn me back. And really, he's not earning you back from a neutral position. He's earning you back from being in a deep hole with like a negative 500. And how's he going to work his way back up to a place where you could trust him again? Because if he lied to you about this, he's going to lie to you about other stuff.
Yeah, he doesn't. Yeah, I agree with everything you're saying. He doesn't see it how he sees it as, I can change my mind, new information.
No, that's a cop-out. Yeah. I'm sorry. I mean, and that's part of the price of marriage. Every decision has prices involved, of good things as well as challenging things. And that means that he didn't change his mind. I think he didn't tell you the truth.
Yeah, and I think that when he made a commitment to you, I think that was his big untruth. He didn't say, I take you, well, you're second, though, to my son, but really not second to his son, second to his own feelings. He's doing what feels good to him.
That's right.
And it's wrong for you, and it's wrong for the son. And if there's any way you could get him to go see a counselor with you, that's what I would be saying the first session. I would say, we're here because I feel like my husband is doing things that he said he wouldn't do. He didn't live up to a commitment. And he's hurting his son and he's hurting me, but he thinks he's doing the right thing. I just lay it out there.
Right. And I would tell him that this, is not a decision between you or his son. This is a decision about, is he going to only put himself first above both of you? Or is he going to lean in and do what's right for each of the relationships?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so, and the biblical model is right there, and where it says that a man needs to die to himself, and your husband's got some dying to do. I'm going to send you a copy of Every Man's Marriage. I want you to read it and give it to him. It's all about mutual submission in a marriage, because the Bible tells us, submit yourselves one to another and honor Christ as you do that. That's where the whole submission thing starts, is mutual submission. That's Every Man's Marriage. Boy, it's a great book. Opens a lot of windows and eyes for a lot of people. We'll take a break. We'll come right back for more of New Life Live. And a gift of any amount, we're going to send you Understanding and Loving a Person with Depression. There are a lot of folks struggling with that. Understanding and Loving a Person with Depression. Also today, Life Recovery Today, Dave Stoops on.
I feel blessed to have had this opportunity for my needs to be met, connecting with other women who are fighting the same fight, hoping for healthy marriages and growing closer to the Lord on their journey.
My name is Shelly Martinkus, and I want to personally invite you to the Restore Workshop. If you have been affected by betrayal, it might be that your husband has been looking at pornography, it might be an emotional, physical affair. I would love for you to come join us.
I feel encouraged and hopeful that even in my struggle, I am enough.
You will leave with hope, with a community of sisters ready to support you, and you will also leave with tools to move you forward on this journey.
Through the sharing in our small group, I realize that I am not alone.
Please don't hesitate. Pick up the phone, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. I would love to see you there.
The Restore Workshop is coming to Dallas, Texas, June 25th through the 27th. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE to find out more. That's 1-800-639-5433 or online at newlife.com.
I was really living a very anxiety-filled life. I turned on New Life, and the topic that day was about anxiety. And just by listening, I got relief.
You can help New Life Live stay on the air by joining Club New Life today. When you sign up to support us monthly through Club New Life, we'll send you the new member thank you gift of 7 books, including Growth Has No Boundaries by Drs. John Townsend and Henry Cloud, Take Your Life Back by Steve Arterburn and Dr. Dave Stoop, and the Emotional Freedom Workbook. Plus, there are ongoing benefits like access to the Club New Life video library, the monthly Club New Life CD or download, quarterly resources, free shipping on purchased resources, and discounts on workshops. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. Support Club New Life, and together we can help hurting people find help and hope in life's hardest places. Call 1-800-639-5433 to join Club New Life today. We'd love to hear from you. If you have a question or a comment, call toll-free 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back. Let's go to Colin, Marietta, Georgia. Let's see how Colin's doing today. Colin, you are on New Life Live, and I can't seem to touch you. There we go. How are you? What's going on?
I'm doing all right.
How can we help today?
So we're dealing, and I'm a college student, and I'm dealing with a lot of Zoom bombers.
Oh.
So basically, people that go in uninvited and they, wreak havoc. They'll draw stupid stuff and, blast songs with vulgar words. So I'm wondering, what's the Christian way I should go about dealing with this?
Well, isn't there any way you can block that? Is there not some way you can?
No, these are going on in my virtual classes.
Oh, okay.
And is the teacher aware?
Yeah, the teacher is aware, and they've been trying to deal with it, but they're relentless.
Well, you know what it sounds like to me? It's that quote out of the Big Book where Bill W. wrote, "Acceptance is the answer to all my problems today." You may have to just come to accept it as reality and hate it, but there may not be anything you can do. If there was, I would think the professors would figure that out. And
well, yeah, I would think it would be handled at the level of the professor and the institution.
Well, Colin, somehow this really bothers you. Otherwise, you wouldn't have called us. What does it make you feel that these people are interrupting you. What feelings are going on inside you?
I'm trying to study. I'm studying meteorology, and it's one of my big passions that I've had for years and years and years. And it's just like I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to get good grades in the class, and I'm just getting interrupted constantly.
And what does that make you? What does that make you feel, Colin, when you are interrupted?
It makes me feel outraged, honestly, that, these people cannot, stop.
Okay.
But today actually has not been too bad. A lot of my classes have been pretty good today.
Okay, so you're outraged when something is
outraged.
When something is taken away from you, or your passion is thwarted or interrupted.
Mhm.
Where else have you felt that?
I've just felt that there have been so many examples over the past several years with this COVID pandemic. And I love swimming at the YMCA, but that finally just kind of opened back up.
So stuff taken away from you makes you angry.
Yeah, and it just makes me disappointed that, that it's not my fault for any of this.
Have you been blamed a lot in your life?
Yeah, a lot of the Zoom bombing, I've been blamed for it.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, wow.
So.
Yeah, I got bullied, and I've been bullied quite a bit in my life.
All right,
And this probably feels like more of that bullying.
It is. It's total bullying. And when I was a young adolescent, I was bullied a lot too, and it really hurts to be bullied like that. And if you're a meteorology background, you're more technical in science and so on and so forth, and you're really down to business, kind of a thinker, but that's why I ask the emotional questions, because this is another bully.
Yep.
I'm so
I know,
sorry.
it's one of those things you just got to get through.
Well, no, I disagree. You have to do something with the larger picture of the history of people taking advantage of you, or bullying you, or disregarding you, or interrupting you, or taking things away from you. And there's so much of this world that is unjust. And adjusting to the injustices of life, but then fighting at the appropriate places that you can have influence. And as a college student, this is this may be one of the most important lessons you've ever had to learn.
Right.
What is that balance?
Here's what I think. I think a lot of times something like this that's bothering you, it bothers you because there's this vat of unresolved stuff that could be resolved. And then if you get your vat emptied by a half or 3/4, now when stuff comes into the vat, you don't feel like you're going to be overwhelmed, or it's going to overflow, or you're going to lose control. And so I would do some work on that bullying thing. I was bullied. Kid held me and kicked me in the shins 100 times, and the compassion level of that teacher that I went to was 0. And so I know what that feels like. So we've got to resolve those things so that we're not piling more stuff in an overflowing vat of unresolved.
And one of the ways we do that is by grieving.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We have to grieve the losses that we've been through.
Right. But we also need to look at what are we telling ourselves that the meaning of this is. And that's where we need some feedback from a caring, safe person that can give us some appropriate feedback on the meaning of this.
And really, it's not personal, because this is a Zoom bomber, and I think what you're saying is if she personalizes it, or he personalizes this, it's going to be something that hurts even worse.
Yeah, that's right. All right, let me send you this little book, Healing is a Choice. One of the other callers mentioned it. I think it can help. I hope so. We'll take a break. We'll come right back for more of New Life Live. If you need some help, it's 1-800 New Life. We want to help you.
For most of my life, I've been dealing with an opiate addiction.
Why is opioid addiction quickly becoming one of our nation's biggest killers? Maybe it's because it isn't only those who are addicted who are in denial.
We did what I see so many parents do, is it can't be an addiction. There's something medically wrong.
It's impossible to solve a problem when you don't know what you're up against, and families will try to find any explanation except the one that will put them on the right path.
Alcoholism and drug addiction is a family disease. It doesn't affect just the individual.
If someone you love is abusing painkillers, know what you're up against. It's time to admit its addiction and seek treatment. Call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. We have partner treatment centers around the country. Call 1-800-639-5433 or visit us online at newlife.com.
We just made a decision. We will do whatever it takes.
1-800-NEW-LIFE.
Hi, this is Steve Arterburn, and for 30 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
I'm an addict, and I'm trying to get God in my life again.
You seem to be able to get to the crux of a problem quickly.
Our Christ-centered treatment programs can help you break free to embrace all that God has for you and your family.
I just want to thank you guys for bringing me to a relationship with Jesus.
There really is help for marital problems, depression, addictions, panic attacks, and feelings of hopelessness.
I came back with so many tools to help me prepare myself to fight this struggle and this battle that I have every day.
You can start living again today, living the life God intended for you. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
They did care, and they did follow up very lovingly, and it made all the difference in my life.
Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Someone who cares is waiting at the other end of the phone. God can open the door to a better tomorrow right now. Just call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. 1-800-639-5433.
We're glad you joined us for New Life Live. To be a part of the program, call 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
We are back. Steve Arterburn here with Milan Yurkovich, author, How We Love. We'll be doing our marriage intensive in July. I hope you'll join us for that. We have watched some amazing turnarounds in marriage, and we'd love to see that in your marriage. It makes pretty good marriages pretty great, and it makes some really bad marriages pretty good. So we really can help you get better if you call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That is the number. April 10th is Every Man's Battle. And then in June 25 through 27, we're doing Restore face-to-face in person in Dallas, Texas. Let's go to Joan. Alexandria, Virginia is where she's calling from. Hi, Joan. How are you today?
Hi. I'm doing okay. Well, not so much okay.
All right.
I just had a question about dealing with trauma.
Okay.
I've been physically and verbally abused as a child, physically and verbally abused, and sexually abused as when I was a teenager. And then I married someone very young. I had a 3-month-old child, and I met someone, and I married him, and he was an abusive alcoholic, tried to kill me, choke me, kick
Oh, my
me,
goodness.
knock
Wow.
me unconscious. And so I got the strength. Some ladies had told me about a support group for women who were battered, and I went to Al-Anon meetings.
Good.
And then I came to Christ. Me and my son, we both came to Christ at the same time.
Okay.
And I raised him in church, and now I'm feeling that trauma all over again from dealing with my son. And I don't know how to heal from the trauma. I'm trying my best. It's just like because of some of the things he's doing, it just brings
What's
back
he
the
doing?
anger.
Yeah, what's he doing? What's your son doing?
He's on drugs, and he'll get off of them, but he's just been rebelling since puberty. He's been giving me a run for my money. I never remarried. I just feel like he's like drained all my time and life with his bad choices, and now he's at my house on home detention.
Oh,
And,
boy.
I mean, not home. Is it called home detention or home
House arrest?
or something?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yes,
Oh, boy.
because he moved in with a girlfriend, and they both got arrested for domestic disturbance, but they kept him because he had some previous issues from years ago. But now
ask us a question that we could help you.
I mean, I went to a couple of counselors. How do I not be angry? I mean, I don't want to be depressed, but that's how I feel. I wake up in the morning and I'm happy. I'm grateful that my eyes are open. I'm breathing, that because I've been through some physical health issues. But 3 hours into my work day, he just is so draining and with his issues, and he won't go to counseling.
How old is he? How old is he, Joan?
He's 32.
Okay.
32. It's my only son.
Okay.
My only child.
So it's not working. Doesn't work. You can't survive this much longer. Is there any option? Can he be under house arrest in some other house?
I'm
not saying you can afford it.
Oh, can I put him up?
Not you put him up, but the city mission or Salvation Army or some place like that is an option. And I would imagine they would allow that because it's not going to be this. You can't let yourself get worn down.
Here's the thing, Joan. You said you had childhood abuse. When you're a child, you are trapped, and you are at the mercy of the adults around you. And as a teen, somewhat as well, right? You're at the mercy of adults. Yeah. One of the things to deal with your trauma now is to recognize, well, first of all, it's those younger feelings that are coming up, right? That's what's creating the fear and the immobilization. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But you have to, and you may need people to help you do this, remind yourself that you are no longer that abused child or that abused teen. You're now a fully functioning adult. And you know what? You don't have to be trapped. See, it's very familiar to you to be in a trapped situation. And so you can feel like, well, I have no other option but to have my son here. But that isn't true, because your mental health is equally, if not more important, than your son's home arrest. That's his consequence. You have to safeguard your mental health. And if having him at home is so destabilizing for you that it brings up old trauma, then that's not a healthy situation for you. And you have to say no to that because it jeopardizes your life. And so what would he do if your house was not an option?
He would have to stay at the local corrections facility.
Okay.
Well, that's where I would sure put him there.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I would have him stay. Why wouldn't you? I mean, that's a safe place. Why wouldn't you let him stay there?
Well, because of the pandemic, that was one of the reasons. Okay.
If he got the pandemic, if he got the virus, he's 32. He'd probably survive just fine.
Okay.
Don't let something like that prevent you from doing what you need to do. They take precaution at those facilities. Mm-hmm. They don't want to get sick. They're working there. So I don't think that's a valid excuse for you to be like this. And I don't think it's helpful to him.
No. And to have your son now be like a perpetrator in your life, that's not good for your relationship.
Joan, Jill and Steve are absolutely right. What Jill just said was super important. As a human being, Joan, you learn to tolerate the intolerable. Mm-hmm. You had no choice. You had to bear up under intolerable circumstances and survive. So it is natural for you to continue to tolerate the intolerable. It's a natural feeling, as Jill was saying. So for you to...
How do I...
Well, you have to do exactly what Steve is saying, and Jill. You have to say no to your son. I know he's your only son, but you have to say, no, this isn't working. I'm not going to tolerate the intolerable anymore. It's killing me. Go. You're out.
Well, and
leave. I don't know where you're going to go, but I can't caretake you anymore.
See, he got caught, and that didn't break him, humble him, and now he wants to do anything he can to start over. When you tell them, when you call law enforcement and say, I need you to come pick up my son, he's on house arrest, I can't handle it anymore, and they do, he'll be furious at you, but he won't be around you. He'll be in the facility there, and he'll be taken care of, and you'll be free, and you will have done the right thing, the hard thing that gets easier versus doing the easy thing that gets harder. Easy to say, come live with me, and then it's just gotten worse and worse.
Well,
so
and it's a privilege at his age to be able to live with you, and it should be treated as such. It's not a right. And Joan, is he still doing drugs? Did you say
I think so.
Okay.
I think so because he's just exhibiting like mood swings.
Yeah.
And some days he sleeps most of the day, and he gets out to go to his part-time job, and then he comes back. And so, you know, and that's when I said, I think you get, oh, no, I'm not. You know, he becomes combative with me, and I'm so tired.
Joan, so you know, you don't even need to ask the question. You can tell by the behaviors. And so this isn't even your son. This is a drug addict that's kind of working the system.
Yeah.
Right? So this isn't really helping him.
Is that a sociopath? I mean,
well, you don't know until he gets off a drug.
This is typical addict behavior, Joan.
Now, Joan, I'm about going to a break here. You called us for some advice, and we believe he needs to go to that facility. Do you believe that now? Are you going to do that or not?
Yes, I am.
Oh, I think I'm so happy.
I don't have any other options.
Yeah. And it's a really good option because I've found that people have a little more difficult time, they still do it, of getting drugs inside when they're incarcerated than out on the street. Yeah. Right. All right. I'm going to send you Take Your Life Back. It's a great, great book for folks that get stuck in these situations where everybody loses. Take Your Life Back. If you've never read it, sure can help you go from being a reactive person to responding the way you want to respond. We'll be back after this.
After I found the pornography on the internet, I said you either get help or I have to leave this household.
Every day, thousands of women discover their husband is struggling with sexual integrity. And since shelter-in-place orders have gone into effect, traffic to porn sites has skyrocketed. New Life's Every Man's Battle workshop can help.
Every Man's Battle, I fought it the whole week with my wife. Within 2 hours, you could have opened a book. It showed me where my life has been ever since I was a little boy.
The Every Man's Battle workshop can be a trip to the sexual addiction emergency room. During this time of social distancing, the Every Man's Battle workshop will be held online Saturday, March 6th. Find sexual integrity, accountability, and connection. Register now to reserve a place at the Every Man's Battle online workshop. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
He said, this may have saved my life.
Every Man's Battle was a life-changing experience for me and a marriage-saving experience for me.
Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. 1-800-NEWLIFE.
Hi, this is Steve Arterburn, and for 30 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
Your ministry has saved my life.
If you struggle with emotional hurt, family or marriage problems, the pit of depression, or the pain of addictions, we can help.
I'm down 100 pounds now from what I was.
You guys are awesome. You are a blessing to America.
Our treatment programs provide clinically appropriate solutions from licensed professionals, all in a biblical framework.
I have had problems with alcohol. I think God has ordained this place to be His.
You don't have to be a prisoner of your pain. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
She tells me that I'm a new man, and I feel like a new man.
It worked for me, and it can work for them too.
This time it is different.
If you're ready to take the first step toward genuine spiritual and emotional healing, please call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. God can open the door to a better tomorrow right now. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. New Life. That's 1-800-639-5433.
To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
We are back, and I can't get to everybody. I've only got time for Jose here, and so we're going to go to Jose. Jose, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Doing okay. You have a question for us? We don't have a lot of time, but I did want to get to your call.
Okay. Yes. About 2 years ago, I decided to step as a father figure or father example to a 14-year-old girl in her church because she was struggling with some anxiety and some depression. And my main question is, how far can I keep, helping this girl? How far can I keep stepping into her life? Because it feels like, at first, a couple of years ago, she was really excited. She was really happy, me helping her. Me and my wife, we've been helping her financially as well a little bit. But now it feels like she's retreating a little bit. She will turn 16 on May. And it feels like she's retreating away a little bit. So I just want to know if I...
Have you talked with her?
You
Have you talked with her? Have you and your wife talked with her and said, we sense a shift here and we care about you and want to know if you sense something different and what it is that you want?
Yes, a little bit. She's just, sometimes she's very open to us and sometimes she's really quiet. But the main thing is she's a really awesome girl. She's very humble and she never knew her dad, obviously.
Yeah.
She lived with her mom only, and so the main thing is, like I say, do I need to continue to pursue as calling her and texting her how you're doing, I'm here for you or whatever.
Well, let's hear from Mila
like
and
that.
Jill. Let's see what they think about this situation.
Well,
what do you guys think?
When our children turn into adolescents, Jose, and they become teenagers, they start to have bigger movements within their emotions and their thoughts and their behaviors. They're more exaggerated, and it's a big adjustment time for them. So a 16-year-old girl who's going to be 16 in May, I think you just need to be a stable force and allow her to go through her fluctuations and tell her you're always there, and then allow her to also, I would suggest that you periodically check in with her, but then let her come back to you, because she will hopefully want a relationship with you. But I think it's true even for biological parents.
Yes.
When our kids turn 16, Steve and Jill, you guys can.
They're on the go.
They're on the go, and then they drift and they want to break away from mom and dad. So.
Right.
Whereas at 14.
The other thing I noticed.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. The other thing we noticed is, I'm the youth leader of my church, and she's having some peer pressure. Because some of other girls or some other boys we find out that told her that it feels like I'm more, like I take more care of her than the rest of them. But, in the church, I've tried to help everyone the same. But outside the church, I'm a little bit more involved with her, and that's when we notice that she might be feeling a little awkward, because she doesn't want anybody to think that she's so special or things like that. How can I talk to her and let her know that we decided to help her in a different way because, all the things she's been struggling with.
Yeah. Well, I think there are a lot of forces here. And again, I think the advice you've been given that let her come to you is really good.
Okay.
I think there's one more thing, Jose, and that is you have to be careful as a male pastor or somebody working with youth, you have to be careful because, it's a world that is very suspicious of male leaders pursuing women. And it's a place where you can get in a lot of trouble, even if you haven't done anything. I would make sure you do as much as you can. Every single thing I would do with your wife. I would do a group call together and things like that. I would really do less one-on-one with her, and it would be everything I would do with your wife present.
And perhaps your wife reaching out to her independently.
Exactly.
Right? And forging a relationship with her that's also separate from the two of you.
It is tricky, and in this day and age, there are some situations where you just simply don't want to be alone with somebody of the opposite sex that's younger or the same age. You have to be safe, and you have to have good boundaries.
Right, but I also would perhaps move into this topic and ask her how she's feeling in the youth group and what she's sensing from the other kids, how that feels to her, what's her inclination and how to handle that, how can you come alongside her and help her with that. I think that's important, in addition to talking about, okay, we did choose to help you, and it isn't all equal.
Yeah.
And how do you feel about that?
Yeah. Okay, so let me send you a really cool book. It's on forgiving our fathers, forgiving ourselves. And is that the title of it, Jill, or not? Did I miss that?
Is that mine or Dave's?
I want yours.
Oh, forgiving our fathers and mothers.
Forgiving our fathers and mothers. Okay, there you go. Sorry about that. Send you Forgiving Our Fathers and Mothers. Thinks there might be some great insight in there that might help her. A lot of folks, they lean up against a grudge or a resentment or a bitterness, and the person isn't around, the person was never around, and we can help them stop leaning when we talk to them about feelings of resentment, bitterness, anger. So many people think that if they hold on to that, then they're in control of the relationship with the person that's hurt them. But it just absolutely rots out the soul that's why God said all bitterness. We all want to believe, but my situation's different. Well, we've got to do the forgiving. In Jill's book, Forgiving Our Fathers and Mothers, one of the things Dave Stoop taught me was that every young man has to get over his mother. If you don't, then you're dragging all that, putting that on your wife. If you had a great mother, she can't live up to the great mother. If you had a horrible mother, she can never compensate enough for the horror. And so you have to get over mom. And a big part of that is grieving the mom that you didn't have and forgiving the one that you did. If you need some help with any of that, you could call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. But right now, if you join Club New Life, well, we're going to send you these books: Conquer Worry and Anxiety by Dr. Amen, Growth Has No Boundaries, Cloud Townsend, Emotional Freedom Workbook, Arterburn and Neal, Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life by Dr. Stoop, Forgiving What You'll Never Forget by Dr. Stoop, Healing is a Choice by Arterburn, and Take Your Life Back Day by Day, Arterburn and Stoop. It's a little New Life library that we give you there, and hope that that'll be a blessing to you. But one of the greatest things you could do for us, if you can't support us financially, you could pray for us. We're having some really, really amazing times right now. We've hired some new people with new ideas and energy and focus, and I'll tell you, it's making a difference. COVID has not destroyed this ministry. We are stronger than we've ever been. That really is the truth. And so thank you. Pray for us. Tell somebody about us. Tell them to listen to the program. They might get something out of it. And if anybody needs help, it's 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Thank you, Mylan. Thank you, Jill. Thanks to all of you who listen, watch, and pray and support us.
Thanks for listening. We hope this program has helped you by giving you insights for handling the challenges you face in your life. We want you to know that we're here for you, but you also need to know that New Life Live is a listener-supported ministry. To make your donation or to get any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433, or write to us at New Life Ministries, P.O. Box 1029, Lake Forest, California, 92609. Please join us again on Monday for New Life Live.
Hi, thank you for watching New Life Live. You know, New Life Live is a Christian counseling program where we deal with the hard questions about life, relationships, kids, free choice, freedom of will, whatever. It's all right there on New Life Live every day, every weekday, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. If you want to call into the live broadcast, you can find the schedule on newlife.com or click the social media link right below. You can see every episode of New Life Live on the New Life YouTube channel. Watch it with a friend, watch it later. Be sure to subscribe and hit that bell so you'll never miss another episode. So if you want to listen on the go, download the app. The link is right below. And I hope if you need some information, if you want to get some help, you'll call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. And I'll see you next time.